I have lived 80 years. That is not a boast. It's simply the fact. But it does mean that I have some perspective. I have seen enough of life to know what really matters and what doesn't. And I don't want to waste your time. So let me cut right to the chase. There are 4 things that matter in life. Everything else is a distraction or an illusion. The 4 things that matter are no. 1, being born, no. 2, living, no. 3, loving, and no, for leaving a legacy. Those 4 things, they're in the order for a reason. You can't love unless you're born. You can't leave a legacy unless you live. So being born comes first. It's the prerequisite for everything else. Now, when I was born, my father had just died 2 months earlier. He died of the Spanish flu at the age of 27, just 3 years before I was born. My mother, who was a teenager herself at the time, she never told me much about him. I do have one picture of him. It's a little snapshot taken with a Kodak Brownie camera. It's the only thing that she saved from him, and in the photo he's holding a baby. That's her brother, my uncle. He's named after our father. That's the only other thing my mother saved from him, his name. I do wish I knew more about him. I wish I could have known him, but I can't. And I know that sometimes the not knowing eats away at people, but it's pointless to dwell on the past. Being born is something that's already happened, so you might as well make the most of being alive. That's number 2, living. That's the second thing that matters. There's a lot of bad out there, sure, but there's also a lot of good. So many things to experience, so many things to learn, so much beauty to behold, so many kind people to meet, so many friendships to make. Don't just rush through life. Take it all in. Life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. When I was 16, I worked my first job at a local drugstore. The owner, Mr. Henderson, he had this expression. He'd say, "Don't put off living until you retire." I thought he was crazy. I mean, why wouldn't you want to put off living until you're retired? You work all your life so that you can enjoy your golden years, right? Well, Mr. Henderson, he showed me the error of my ways. See, he was 62 years old and he had heart problems. One day he suffered a massive heart attack and he died right there in the store. It was a shock, but it taught me a valuable lesson. Life can end suddenly and unexpectedly. You could be alive right now and never know it's the last time you'll ever breathe, ever see another sunrise, ever taste the sweetness of honey or the tang of a raspberry. So don't wait to live your life. Live it while you can. And what about the third thing that matters? Loving. Can't be born without it. After all, you were born of love. Your parents, they loved each other, enough so that they decided to make a baby. I know for myself, I was born into a very loving family. We may not have had much money, but we had a whole lot of love. And later in life, I found someone to love and who loved me back. I know now that I have passed on that love. I have so much love in my life, and it's because I choose to love and to let myself be loved. Love is a choice. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it hurts, like when you miss someone you love. But I don't regret a single moment of it. Loving is living. So if you want to experience all that life has to offer, then love and let yourself be loved. So what about the fourth thing that matters? Legacy. Some people, they don't care about it. They just want to live in the moment, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I have always cared about what I would leave behind. Would anyone even notice if I died tomorrow? Most likely not. So I started writing books. That way, if I died, at least my books could help people, and maybe that would be my legacy. But here's what I've learned. You don't have to leave behind something huge to make a difference. Sometimes it's the small things that matter the most. When I was young, I wanted to be an inventor. I wanted to create products that would change the world. I went to university, studied engineering. In my senior year, I had a class with the best professor. His name was Professor Eldridge. I remember him having this twinkle in his eye and always having a smile. He made learning fun. He inspired me. He didn't realize it at the time, but he planted a seed in me. When I graduated, I became an engineer. I didn't invent anything revolutionary, but I did have kids of my own. And when they were in high school, I would talk to them about my old professor, about how he inspired me to become a teacher. And I ended up influencing them to go into teaching too. Now they're both teachers. They've been awarded Teacher of the Year multiple times. Not because I invented something, but because I inspired my children to inspire others. Legacy isn't something big. It's the ripple effect. It's the small impact you can have on one person that ends up changing the world. It's not about the big things. It's about the small, simple things that matter. Like telling people you love them while you still can, or giving back to the community, or mentoring someone younger than you. It's helping someone who's struggling, volunteering, being kind to strangers, sending a card to someone you haven't spoken to in ages, going to see someone who's sick, calling someone who's lonely, donating to a cause you believe in, planting a tree, picking up litter, saying hello to people, smiling more, frowning less, or just listening to someone. Those are the things that matter. One of my proudest moments was when I was asked to give a commencement address at a university. I was so honored, and afterwards, I met a young woman. She said she was graduating the next day, and she said, "You don't know me, but I wanted to tell you how much I appreciated your speech. It's given me so much to think about." Then she said, "I'm sorry if I sound ungrateful, but I've spent so much time focusing on the big things in life, getting a good job, a big house, lots of money. I realize now that none of that matters. It's the small things that make life worth living." And I want to add to that, not just that life is made up of the small things, but the small things are what gives life meaning. So the secret to happiness is living a life of purpose. And that purpose comes from the small things, the things that matter. When you focus on the things that truly matter, you can ignore the rest. You can ignore the people who criticize you, who gossip about you, who belittle you. You can ignore arguments and debates. You can ignore people who complain about everything. You can ignore negative news. Just ignore it. Focus on the 4 things that matter. Be born. That's already happened. You're alive right now. Live while you can. Love and let yourself be loved. That's the only way you can experience life to the fullest, and then leave a legacy. Think about what you want to be remembered by. What small difference can you make in the world? I've lived 80 years. These are the things that matter. Everything else is a distraction or an illusion. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.